So I want to dive into, let's dive into this, because I love this. Yeah. I love the fact that, because I just heard this on Threads. I was reading a thread. You ever get that, like, where it says you might like this thread, like, which annoys the hell out of me, because I'm like, why would I like this thread? And I always think it's somebody leaving me a comment, so I get excited because it's always long, and I'm like, ooh, somebody left me a comment. And it's like a recommendation. But this girl just went in on how bad Miami is. Mm-hmm. Like, everybody's pretentious, all this stuff. And I don't view Miami like that. Mm-hmm. Like, I feel like we've built a phenomenal community, and we kind of have like our Miami, So coming from that, probably what she was talking about, that party lifestyle, that whatever, was there anything before you met Travis where you knew you wanted to get out of it, you just didn't know how?
It's usually that, like, next day feeling when you wake up and you're like, what did I just do? You don't identify as that person that just went partying, So it was mostly every day I would wake up and I would party. I would get that feeling. But I kept doing it for some reason, just because I was trying to escape that reality. So going to the class, it was more of like hearing that on a Saturday, that would be a typical day for me to go out, or I would have gone out the night before. It was like, I have another way of spending my time, another way to being part of a community that doesn't have to be a group of people drinking or partying, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. So it was more of that. It helped me click that there was another way of doing things. It was the Miami way, because somebody hears you're from Miami and the first thing you party a lot. I'm like, no, I actually don't.
Right, exactly.
I actually don't. I'm so far removed from that, but that's what people associate you with. So when I moved here, I was like, oh, I'm gonna be a Miami girl. I'm gonna be a party girl. And now people tell me that, and I'm like, that's not what Miami is all about. So
it's really not. And also too, like, successful people in general, we can't party all the time. Yeah. Like, so I don't know where everybody thinks we just run around and party all the time. Like, we got to be up at 4 a.m. Like, we're not out at space till 4 a.m. So,
exactly.
And so tell me about when you met Travis.
Yes.
Was it love at first sight?
So he was actually a basketball fitness coach at FGCU. So that's where I kind of knew him. And then I ended up moving in Miami. He also ended up moving in Miami. He was starting this program, which was Treat Saturday Like a Tuesday, which is like, he was trying to build a community for people to, exactly that, escape the Miami lifestyle. And he invited me to the first class. And then once I was there, it was more of like how he carried himself and like giving that people like that space to do something else on a Saturday that's not partying, that's not drinking. That kind of caught my attention. It's like I kept coming to the classes, and then.
What time was the class?
It kept getting pushed back because we didn't own the gym. So
yeah,
how that goes. Yeah. So there was a gym who just opened up. I think we had the first night at 9.
Okay.
And as it continued to grow, they understood like this is a good time slot. So then it became 10, and then it became 11. And that was the thing. That's why I kind of had to stop it, because the time kept getting pushed back. It kind of like 12 p.m. It's like you got to get up early. But the idea it was called, like I said, Treat Saturday Like a Tuesday. I was telling people like the way to get ahead in life is if you treat every day like it's another day. And people think it's so boring and so redundant. I'm like, that is the way. Yeah. Like, I'm not gonna work Monday through Friday and then Friday night just throw it all away. So that was the idea of it. But go back to your question. It was at like we roughly around 10, 11, but it kept getting pushed back because
what it reminds me of is it's Ed Milet says it like a separation season. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And so people ask me all the time like how I ended up where I'm at, and it's because I treat Saturday and Sunday just like the regular week. Yeah. I treat Friday night just like the regular week. Like, my alarm goes off 7 days a week at the exact same time. I'm working out every day. Like, it's just a part of me. And I believe that those, and really probably in Miami, it's those 3 days, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Yeah. You're separating yourself from the competition. You're separating yourself. You're even separating yourself from the former you. Like, you're building this foundation, and you're separating. You're like going further. So you're right. It's just cool. Like,
and what's crazy is like people will see you on a Wednesday in the beach, and they're like, "This guy's so lucky." No, I'm not. I didn't do that Saturdays. I didn't do that Sundays. So
yeah, it's not luck. It's almost like, success requires planning. Yeah. So when you like plan your Saturday like it's a Tuesday, then all of a sudden, you know, success on the other side of that is results and success or whatever. And then, so when did it click? Because I know it didn't click like instantly for you.
Yeah.
What was it that it was like, all right, I'm all in on this? When was it I'm all in on Travis? Because it probably was a little combination.
Yeah, so it started to click when I started to get excited to go to a class on Saturday, to wake up to go to the gym. After college, I kept going to the gym, but it was like I would still wake up early, but I would go to bed at 12 a.m., 1 a.m., but I would still have to wake up. So it was a struggle the whole week. So it started to click when on Saturdays, it was like 6 a.m. and I was like, I'm so excited to go. And slowly I stopped going out. And then by a month in, 2 months in, I was like, I don't want to do this anymore. I'm excited to go on Saturday to class. And then it started my Sundays being the same.
What habits or routines have been the most transformative for maintaining your own personal growth?
The winning the alarm.
It's so true, right?
The winning the alarm.
That's why it stuck with me, because
Yeah.
it's so true. It literally changes your entire trajectory of your day.
Yeah.
That one thing. It's just not hitting snooze. It's so powerful. I'm telling you, like, it is the most powerful thing, in my opinion, because you never, ever have a bad day almost when you don't hit snooze. And when you do hit snooze, your day doesn't go as smooth as it typically does. And I'm not saying that every day is perfect by any means when you don't, but there is something mentally that happens where you're like, oh yeah, like now I've won the day almost, like just by winning the alarm. So,
And for me, those extra 10 minutes are not worth it, because usually I wake up even more tired than I was.
Well, there's
the first
science behind that too, and I think we talked about that,
yeah.
the whole circadian rhythm
Yeah.
thing, and it
So-
actually makes you feel worse.
Exactly, so.
But I will say this to everyone out there: it does not mean that when the alarm goes off, that we are not, the first thing in our head is, you know, that like, it feels so good, and the plush pillow, and it's a normal response to as soon as the alarm goes off for you kind of be like, shit, here we go again. You know, that's normal, but it's the decision to not listen to that negative or, you know, your inner bitch or whatever. So,
And like it's so powerful because there are people who come to us who've not won at anything. So it's like, before you lose a pound, before you start eating right, before you do your first workout, listen, let's win something.
yep.
For the last 3-4 years, somebody been like, yo, I just keep sleeping in. I just can't shake it. So it's like, if I can give you a quick win right there, like you wake up like, oh, I'm up. I'm moving. I'm grooving.
Right.
I feel. That's what I'm trying to nudge for you, because some people, it's just the reality of the situation, they haven't won in so long. So it's like, oh, what if we can break down these wins? Because so many times people have these big wins all the time. It's like, let's get a small one. Let's get a quick one really quick. You know, let's feel good about ourselves. And you'll be surprised how many text messages we get from clients like, yo, man, like I'm up. Like,
Yeah.
you know how it is. Like,
Yeah.
yo, I'm up. I woke up at 6 a.m. Like, it's like, great. I woke up at 5. It's like, great. And it's like, all of a sudden, it's like, the signals that are sent into their brain is what we want. It's like, yo, I can do something. I can do something that I thought I couldn't do. So winning the alarm is, like you said, is by far, you can't explain it until it becomes a routine of yours and you start to believe in yourself.
And also, like, a lot of people don't see waking up as a win. So they will wake up at 5 a.m., but they were just curious. It's like, no, that's a win. A lot of people don't do that. So it's like also like letting people know that like that is a win in itself. They're just not aware of it.
And I love that it's framed as a small win, because to your point, everyone wants these huge wins. They want to lose 30 pounds. They want the promotion. They want the raise. They want this, but they don't realize like it starts with these small wins daily that get you to the big wins. So if you can get that small win from the start, then the next one, and then there's a domino effect too. And I just can't say enough about that. It's so funny how you're literally in my head, and I'm like, I kind of laugh at it now in the morning because I'm like,